All right. You know what time it is. Yeah. Neil Ratner Rock Doc here with a story. Okay, so yesterday was Ronnie Woods' 72nd birthday. And today I thought I'd tell you a little about Woody that you might not know. But as usual, a little background first. So Ronnie was born outside of London to a family of water gypsies. And what I mean by that is barge and river workers who historically spent their entire lives on the water. In fact, according to Wood, his generation was the first in his family to be born on dry land. Interesting, right? Okay. His father played in a harmonica orchestra, while older brothers Ted and Art were both accomplished musicians and graphic designers. Now, with Ron showing promise at a young age, his brothers chipped in to buy him an acoustic guitar, which he loved, and at age 14, he purchased his first electric. Now, Ronnie was also a very talented artist, and even as his child, his drawings were featured on the BBC TV show Sketch Club. And so he followed his brothers and went on to train at Ealing Art College, a school that was famous for a lot of other musicians that ended up going there, like Freddie Mercury and Pete Townsend, and there were others as well. But by 1964, Wood had left school to pursue a career as a professional musician. Now, after playing in a few different bands, Ronnie joined the Jeff Beck group, at first as rhythm guitarist, and eventually he switched to bass. Right, he played bass in Jeff Beck. Along with vocalist Rod Stewart, Wood did several tours with Beck and recorded two great albums, Truth in 1968 and Beck a Lot in 1969. And believe it or not, the Jeff Beck group split for good in '69, just 2 weeks prior to a slot playing at Woodstock. Can you imagine? They were scheduled to play. They broke up 2 weeks in advance, and of course they never did. All right. Now, after the departure of singer Steve Marriott, the remaining three members of the Small Faces approached Ronnie and Rod with the offer of starting a new band. But the first collaboration wasn't the Faces. It featured Wood's older brother Art Wood, another musician named Kim Gardner, and they were called Quiet Melon. They recorded 4 songs, played a few shows in May of '69 during a break when Woody and Rod could do it when their commitments with Jeff Beck weren't happening. But later that summer, Wood and Stewart parted ways with Beck and joined Lane, McLagan, and Jones full-time to become the Faces. Yeah, now, the group was one of the highest-grossing live acts from 1970 to 1974. But as Rod Stewart's solo career became more successful than that of the rest of the group, the band became overshadowed by their lead singer. Now, Ronnie Lane was the first to leave, and then in 1975, fate would play a heavy hand in Ronnie Wood's next move. Okay, now back in '73, Wood had asked his old friend Mick Taylor, who he had known since the early '60s, to help out with his first solo album. Well, you know what happened. Mick Taylor was playing in the Stones, and eventually both Jagger and Keith Richards also contributed to Woody's solo LP, I've Got My Own Album to Do, which was released in '74. And as we all know, Keith and Ronnie became really good friends. And recording the album, Woody's album, I've Got My Own Album to Do, was recorded at Woody's home studio in the basement of his home near London. And Keith and Mick liked the studio so much that they collaborated with Ronnie on the lead single It's Only Rock and Roll from the Stones' next album, Black and Blue. So, you know what was happening here. Everything fell into place, and when Mick Taylor left the Stones, and when Ronnie Wood left the Faces, you know, it was very obvious that Wood would then become the guitar player for the Stones. Now, according to Wood, I've always been in the hands of fate. I don't know what I'd be doing, but I know that I'd be doing something great. And being in the Stones was the fulfillment of his childhood dream. I used to run home from school to watch the Stones on TV. Right from when I was at college, I wanted to be in that band. Now, he also did other things. Even while a member of the Stones, Ronnie continued to perform and continues to perform with a string of musical legends, including Dylan and Bo Diddley. At one point, I don't know if you remember, he formed the supergroup The New Barbarians, featuring Keith Richards, Ian McLagan, Stanley Clarke, Bobby Keys, and the drummer from the Meters. And he's also released a string of well-received albums. And let's not forget, Ron Wood is a very, very accomplished artist. He did the cover artwork for Eric Clapton's 1988 box set Crossroads. Several of his paintings, including a work commissioned by Andrew Lloyd Webber, are displayed at London's Drury Lane Theatre. And you can see Ronnie's work in galleries all over the world. All right, Ronnie Wood, happy belated birthday, Ronnie. All right, that's my story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. My book, Rock Talk, neilratnerrocktalk.com. Buy it off the site. I will autograph it any way you like. 3 o'clock on Saturday, This Week in Rock on WDST and iHeartRadio. Doing a lot of interviews these days with stations all over the country, so you might hear me on a station near you, and if not, you'll read the posts. I have a couple of new things that may be coming up that I will alert you to as the weeks go on. And that's it for today. It's a beautiful day here in Woodstock, although I think it's going to rain later this afternoon. Get out, enjoy it. It's springtime here, and that's it for today. I'll see you real soon. All right, let me play it one more time. Rock Talk. See ya.